The world is moving so fast right now, and sometimes it is so hard to keep up with all the news, especially about our beloved continent. And that is why I am here to fill in all the gaps. Welcome back to What's Happening in Africa with Tanya. Congolese President Denis Sassou Nguesso announced that we must actually, as a continent, pay more attention to what is happening in Ukraine and Russia and stop being neutral. The president believes we must not remain silent and we must pick a side. He stated that we are all suffering the effects of these wars directly on our peoples. Inflation is rising everywhere, and we believe that Africa cannot remain silent or indifferent in the face of such a tragedy. Still in Congo, we have great environmental news with the reintroduction of the white rhino in the country. 16 southern white rhinoceroses have been released into Garamba National Park. Sadly, the last white rhino in this park was poached in 2006, and because of all the poaching and the conflict in the nation, it has been difficult to maintain the rhinoceroses in the country. But finally, it looks like that is looking up. The Director General of Congolese Institute of Conservation of Nature stated the return of white rhinos to the DRC is a statement of our country's commitment to biodiversity. I, for one, look forward to seeing how these rhinos settle in their new home as they're being transported from South Africa to the Democratic Republic of Congo. On a more unfortunate note, Cameroon's champion of democracy, John Frundi, has died at the age of 81. John Frundi was a Cameroonian politician who served as first and founding chairman of the Social Democratic Front in the main opposition party in Cameroon. He was a leader from the party's foundation in 1990 to his recent death in 2023. A great orator, former bookseller, and speaker, John Frundi touched the hearts of many in the nation and was determined to make a change and bring democracy to the Cameroonian government. He became a hero to many in the 1990s, gathering a large amount of support. Condolences have been sent to the nation from around the world. Still in tragic news, a capsized boat in Nigeria has been recorded to have killed over 103 passengers. This week, there was a boat that was recorded to have been carrying 250 passengers traveling from a wedding ceremony, and it capsized on Monday morning in the north central Kwara state, where there has been a recorded amount of dangerous waters and dangerous capsizing of boats. This tragedy has been linked to the dangerous waters, overloading, and poor safety precautions being taken into place in these boats. The president has sent condolences to the family, and we hope that these accidents stop happening. Moving a little to the east in our beloved continent, cults are becoming more of an occurrence, and this is concerning. In Kenya and in Uganda, the news has reported deaths from two separate cults. In the most recent cult, which happened in Uganda, members are said to have been fasting for 40 days with the hopes of meeting Jesus on the 41st day in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian authorities have had to move and relocate some of these members who crossed the borders without proper recognition. Some of the survivors have responded that they are dismayed to not have seen Jesus Christ arrive on the 41st day. Similarly, the Kenyan cult, which unfortunately had a lot more deaths, was said to have been a starvation cult as well. We're unsure if it was fasting or it was just starvation for another cause, but at the end of the day, several people died and lost their lives. In Kenya, over 100 bodies have been discovered, and still some are resurfacing. Investigators have arrested the cult leader, and he is said to be refusing food and water. In Uganda, their cult leader is still yet to be found. One might wonder why these cults are becoming more popular, and I, for one, believe that this just might be because of the inequality and poverty. I believe that if the authorities come in and reassure the people, there will be some sort of resolve. It might not be able to eliminate all the cults, but it might help people and give them more hope. On the topic of hope, South Africans may be glad to know that load shedding might be better in the next coming weeks, and healthcare for everyone is a possibility in the near future. Eskom, the power utility in South Africa, is set to receive 1,000 megawatts of gas-fired energy from Mozambique. This is after the South African minister promised a change in the load shedding schedules or power cut schedules. Eskom supplies 90% of the country's power, but they've been struggling recently and implementing load shedding schedules that have left many South Africans in the dark for hours. Hopefully, Mozambique can come in and help as best as they can. In regards to the public health care, the health minister, W.H.A.T, has finally approached the people and explained what the National Healthcare Insurance actually means. The National Assembly has announced the National Healthcare Insurance Bill, which is essentially laying down the laws that will pave the way for national healthcare insurance for everyone, regardless of income and demographic. The bill still has to go through the National Council of Provinces before it is sent to the president so that it is signed into law. Minister Phahla explained recently that this bill will allow everyone to have access to health care sponsored by the government, but many are arguing that this might raise a lot of concern. While this sounds like a perfect solution to everyone in the nation, insurance companies are standing up and stating that this might not work out as well as they imagined. The money will come from the taxpayers and towards the government, and the government will pay for all healthcare, and that is what is written in the bill. We hope that this actually turns out well and everyone is provided free healthcare in South Africa. If you have been following W.H.A.T for the past few weeks, you probably know a few storylines that we started a few weeks ago, but we have some updates for you. One of them being the 4,000 prisoners that were released in Zimbabwe. Sadly, and almost ironically, one of the 4,000 released prisoners from Zimbabwe, who was a convicted rapist, has been caught stealing just a few weeks after he was released, unfortunately proving most of the worries of the citizens. On a more brighter note, the other update is about Hilda, who finally has been confirmed to have won the Guinness World Record. The Guinness World Record website stated, "Following a thorough review of all the evidence, Guinness World Record can now confirm that Hilda Effiong Basay, better known as Hilda Baki, has officially broken the record for the longest cooking marathon individual with a time of 93 hours and 11 minutes. At only 26 years old, the Nigerian chef has broken the record. Unfortunately, she couldn't reach that 100-hour mark officially because she was disqualified due to a few hours break she took, but who can blame her? And 93 hours is still a very long time to cook continuously." And finally, Faith Kipyegon, who promised her father his dream car and she can finally move to Nairobi.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm so happy with the reward. Now I can own a house in Nairobi. I was not expecting. Today is the truth. And with the money, I can say now I can buy my father a car. I promised him when I was going to break a world record that I'm going to buy a car for him. So now I can fulfill my promise.
This is sweet and heartwarming and perfect timing considering Father's Day is around the corner. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers watching and all the fathers you hopefully share this video with. Thank you for watching W.H.A.T with me, Tanya. See you next week and I hope you stay in touch. Bye.